Hello, everyone. We have round 5 here of the 2020 Coronament, the final match for me. I'm playing Michael. He's currently in first place with 4 out of 4. I'm sitting at 3 out of 4, and there's a lot of people sitting at 3 out of 4, so we really do need a win and some lucky tie breaks. I guess not lucky, since we'll be doing a blitz tie break. Um, let's see. We played a game with C4. I was pretty satisfied with how he defended against the reverse Sicilian. So I don't know if I'm going to go for that. We might just go for something slower, something more positional. But man, I'm not sure. I mostly only play E5. Um, yeah, this was the only thing that he played that I wasn't really sure about when I was prepping. And I'm still not exactly sure what to do. Um, why don't we're gonna be really boring and go symmetrical. I'm just gonna outplay him positionally. Uh, and we'll do some fancy knight maneuvers. We'll try to control d4, and that's just how we're gonna do this. Yeah, let's throw the knight move here first. Um, d4 could come, and we would be in a Sicilian. So I'm gonna wait a little while before I play that. Okay, that's not coming for a while. The b4 move isn't going to come for a while. Why don't we go ahead? Let's go ahead and just play e5 now. I want this stranglehold over d4. I don't really want him to play d4, and I'm going to try to get this knight here. It's going to take some time, but it's going to be very worth it. Uh, so if we're doing that, we're probably not fianchettoing. I could play d5 here. Let's do that. Let's play d5 here. I bet he wasn't expecting this. We're going to play d5 here, and we're going to move the knight back to c7. We were going to do this anyway. We were going to do this sort of knight maneuver to do this, but this lets me get here a little bit quicker. And so now, no, let's just castle. We'll just castle kingside. I think that's the play. Yeah, we'll just castle kingside. And like I said, we'll keep it really positional. And the thing that I want to force when I get the knight here to d4, I want to force... Okay, now I need to react here. I think knight c7. Yeah, because I want to hold on to this. And I'm very comfortable in this position. I'm extremely happy with this. His dark squared bishop, I would argue, is a little bit strangely placed. So I'm extremely happy with how this turned out. I mean, he can go here, but he's going to get a knight, kind of shoved down its throat. So it's going to make it a little bit more awkward to take with the knight if that's what he's looking to do. And what I want to force is either a knight takes where I can take back with this, get some center and kingside space, and look to play against the e-pawn, or I want to force an e3 where I can then, maybe back up. And then play against the d pawn where the bishop's fianchettoed, and I have a light squared bishop that can potentially attack it. So that's my thought process right now. The difficulty here is, do I castle? I don't think I need to. I mean, my position seems to be perfectly fine. I don't think I need to castle, so we're not going to. And I think just knight e6 is perfectly fine to play. So let's go for it now. So I like this much better. I'm really glad that I played d5. I like this much better than having the pawn in d6. The pawn in d6 defends this a little bit more, but I'm not really worried about it. Oh, excuse me. But I do like that my queen can defend d5, and I don't have to worry about any knight stuff, at least for the moment. And now, yeah, I'm really glad that I didn't put my bishop here. Okay. He can't stop me from putting my knight here. So I think I could castle now. There's a potential problem with going here first. He could take. I take with pawn. The knight goes here, and I could have to deal with e3 before I want to. After knight there, can I go f5 in that position? Certainly could. Seems kind of interesting. Let's jump right in here. I could. I'm not. I think I'm less worried about that. I was a little bit worried about having to deal with e3 before I was ready and castled, and having my heavies developed. Going into a pawn break, you really want to have your heavies developed, so that you can take advantage of those files opening up. It would be really nice if he just rolls over and dies and lets me get the bishop to e6 and then to here. I mean, that would be great, but I don't have very high hopes for him allowing me to do this. We could see some kind of a b4 sacrifice. I don't think I'll see it here, but it could happen at some point. I mean, I think this is plenty defended, so I am really doubting it. It is kind of nice that this bishop's here. It's at least guarding this, so I don't really have to worry about any discoveries on, with that knight moving and what? Maybe he is gonna roll over and die. That's a strange move. That is an incredibly strange move. I feel like I can just get bishop e6 in right now. Let's go for it. I'm at 12 and a half. I do need to keep up on time. The one game that I played and lost in this tournament, I got behind on time very quickly. Bishop e6 is just a solid move to play in rapid, so we won't overthink this. I'm still not castled yet. It's potentially worrisome, but I think we'll make the best out of this anyway. Yeah, that knight's a bit stuck, and this is surprising. But I don't think he had much of a choice. I don't think. So I'm debating taking with this pawn or the knight. If I take with the knight, I'm hanging this, but then I play rook here, and then I pick that up. So I don't know how much I like that position. My c-pawn's a bit weak after that. If I take with the pawn, I get kind of exactly what I wanted. Wow, I'm really leaning towards taking with the knight. And I know I probably shouldn't. No. Yeah, no. I want to kick this knight around. I think this is pretty scary for him. This is a scary spot to be in. We're going to take with this. And he can't go here, right? Because I just win the knight. It's just trapped. That's what I was. That's why I decided on this one. So what does he have to do? He has to go here. Now he could go. If it was me, I might actually, if I was stuck in this position, I may actually just give up the bishop here and then go knight a4, and try to play for, some such nonsense. I don't. Even that's scary though, because then you allow rook here, and there could be some bishop b3 stuff. This knight kind of has to stay here and always watch over that. I guess it can sit on c4. There's a lot of scary stuff there if you give up the light squared bishop. We're gonna obviously pre-move that, I guess. Yeah, I really like taking with the pawn. I'm glad that I made that decision. And I'm sure that he sees this. I'm sure that he sees if he goes there, the knight's just cooked. Yeah, so he's coming back. Okay, so I need to get as much out of this space as possible. The space that I have, I need to get as much out of it as possible. So the question here is, where's his next knight going? He can't do this. This is not possible, because then I'll just play f5 and the knight's cooked. So he can't do that. He can't even really do this one either, because I'll just win the knight a different way. So I need to make it so that this move is possible. I think that means that I need to go rook c8, so that move is at least possible. Now, if he's smart, he'll go something like a4 and just... That's an incredibly decent position for him. And then I'll play for b6, a6, b5. I would have to play b6 first. If I do just go like a6, I run the risk of a5 coming. After, for example, so a4, a6, bishop takes, rook takes, a5 is a bit annoying, and then maybe not. After knight here, that pawn's hanging. But I was worried about knight there, knight to c4, or knight to b6, and so on. I might not even need to play b6. That would save a very useful tempo, but I'm extremely happy with my position regardless. If I can maintain the bishop pair as much as possible, I'll be really happy about this. I am a little focused on the queen side. I'm just trying to figure out what he's going to do. Does that not just hang a pawn? I'm extremely confused. He's done stuff like this in the past. I think that just hangs a pawn. I'm not sure why he missed that. I don't know how he saw everything else and then he missed that. So the question becomes, do I just ignore it, or do I cash in here? I think I cash in here. I think this is really, really strong. I think I'm going to win a lot more than just one pawn. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and cash in. And yeah, I'm not getting trapped or anything. Yeah, and the reason why I say I think I'm winning more than one pawn is because I have this move. And yeah, that's a problem. And I don't really know if he ever wants to push this and give me that square. He's got a real problem on his hands, I think, aside from the pawn dropping. So again, I mean, how often do I have to say I'm happy with this position? I almost wish I was playing Elliott. He would just resign here, and then we have some a much easier job to take care of. Yeah, okay, this is tough. I'm not worried about his move, but I want to try to get as much out of this as I can. Again. I am certain that there is no way to trap the queen because the queen always has f2. So I can pretty much immediately forget about that. I need to be careful where my bishop my bishop on e6 goes because of f7. So I'm considering castling. But again, I don't really need to. Knight e5 looks incredibly attractive. And then what to do after queen f4? Probably just knight g4, right? Knight g4 is really strong there. Yeah, this is pretty busted. I wonder when I'm supposed to castle. Probably not now. I think knight e5 needs to be played. Yeah, I think it needs to be played ASAP. Knight here, queen here. What to do? Yeah, that's a bit annoying. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. I don't really want the queen trade, I would say. Okay. This is really funny. If queen here takes knight g4, and he can guard it with the rook, but then I have bishop here, and at some point I believe he's going to have to push the pawn. I don't know if it's before or after he guards it with the rook, but after he pushes the pawn, I go here anyway, and then after rook wherever, I have he can go rook f2, and rook f2 still doesn't guard on c2, and I can go here, and his rook's trapped because of the bishop on e6. So I think this is working just fine, and I can avoid the queen trade, and I'm certain he won't see that. He just never looks that far ahead. Neither do I. There's no good reason for me to look that far ahead. I just got lucky and saw it. Okay, so we talked about knight to g4. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't play that right now, so we'll probably just do that, I guess, right? Can I actually break through, though? Like, what if he just goes rook e1 and guards? Then I have bishop. He has queen f3 again. And then what? Then I can go back. It's weird. Okay, let's do it anyway. And let's just figure out what to do now. Let's play the move and figure it out later. Yeah, rook e1 I think is just probably fine, I guess. I can go here. Oh. I don't know if that's working. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's totally working. Oh, he has bishop takes. Which might be... Yeah, I can't really move my rook anywhere, and then I have to worry about the bishop check. I think I would have... I wonder if I have to sacrifice... Come on, kitty. Not right now. I wonder if I have to sack the exchange there. Well, no, I have the bishop d6 move still. If he goes bishop takes, and then I can move my rook. I think that's probably better than sacking the exchange. Yeah, that should be better. Okay, so we're fine there. I was just worried because I didn't have that or anything available. I really should consider castling soon. It does need to happen. Okay, still equal-ish on time. Only on move 17. It's been an eventful opening, which is surprising since we played a symmetrical English. Man, I was really hoping for that queen e4 line. That would have been funny. That's one of those lines that it's almost too long. There's a near certainty that I messed up my calculation somewhere. So it's probably not even an actual line. So maybe it's good that it didn't happen. It seems odd that he would have no defense the whole time. What? What the hell is that? Hold on, what? Hold on. what, what's going, there's so many things wrong with that. What's going on here? Don't I just have check and then bishop d6? I don't even know which one to play first. I don't know if it matters. Check, bishop d6. I think I play bishop d6 first, but I don't think it matters. Yeah, let's do that first. The point here is I want to play queen check, and I mean, if it gives me a smothered mate, it gives me a smothered mate, whatever. But I want to play queen check, and then and pick up the rook, because if he moves the knight to guard the rook, then he hangs the other one. So the knight on d2. So I need to make the queen move. If the queen goes here to hang on to the knight because he sees that for some reason, then I just have queen check and I have a smothered mate, and he'll definitely give up the rook. Unfortunately, yeah, then I'm also giving up my g pawn, so it's a bit annoying. But he doesn't have a dark squared bishop, so I can play king e7 in that line. What the hell? Okay. So I just have a check, right? Okay. I should have looked at that longer, but I think this is just completely winning. I don't know why he got really fancy there, and I'm not really sure what the point of that move was. It just seemed to close down his bishop. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's great stuff. Really happy with that. Let's take a look at this. So that should... He was the only 4, so that at least puts me at 4, and I can pull up the standings here just to double check. That would have been the prudent thing to do before the game, so that I knew exactly how I was supposed to be playing. But I was reasonably sure here, and we can view local site, and we can go to pairings 5. So here we were here. Everyone else, you know, there could be 4 4s. So that's kind of interesting. A lot of fun here at the last round, and there's almost certainly going to be a tiebreak. There's at least 2 4s because he just lost. So, oh, excellent. Yeah. So this was more what I wanted to go for out of the opening. You know, just I think I did it in not the round that I lost, which I think was the second round, but I think I did it in the third round. Just, you know, you just play a hedgehog and you just let your opponent mess up. I mean, that's that works at every rating level. Just kind of do nothing, and then your opponent messes up, and then you capitalize. So what happened here to go from negative 0.9 to 0.4? I wonder, because that's a reasonable swing in the opening. It's not the worst thing ever. Did it not like knight c2? So that's a very small swing to go from 0.9 to 0.2. Yeah, and I had a very clear goal in mind. Go knight c7, swing the knight around to get to d4. I don't really want to go to e6. That messes up everything that I'm trying to do. So there's not really a position there where I'll go bishop e6, unless I'm castling queenside, which I thought about, but I tried that last time. It didn't work out very well. Last time I won off of a tactic, kind of like this time. Okay, so so it still wants me to play bishop e6. That seems so strange. In English, whenever the knight comes back to c7, it pretty much always does this sort of maneuver to get to d4. And the knights look a little superfluous, but it's kind of the point. Stranglehold over d4. Make your opponent make a bad decision. I'm extremely comfortable playing this opening. Might even play it as white. I don't know. That's it's got to be something to think about. I didn't think that he could play knight d5 here, But yeah, I guess that makes sense. Knight d5, queen takes, and the knight takes here. So yeah, I didn't see that. I'm sure that if he played knight d5, I would have at least looked at that. But yeah, this move, this just seems strange. There was no, I mean, why not anything else? You know, the rook, I mean, why not rook c1? That's like the first move that I see. Rook c1, I think I even mentioned something about b4 here, and I think I would have taken it. A takes b4. What does this look like? Bishop, I guess I would have taken with the bishop, probably, because I don't want to hang my e-pawn. And this is one of the reasons why there was no way in hell I was castling queenside, because b4 was just, it was just such an easy pawn break to play, so there's no way. And then knight d5. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good one. That's a really good one. Black's, what, slightly better, maybe, but... What a weird position to have to play after that. These bishops are just... Yeah, that's kind of a terror. And black's pretty slow to develop, to at least finish the development. That's an interesting position, even with the two passers. I don't know if those pawns are going to hang around for very long. They might literally be hanging in short order. Okay, so bishop e3, yeah, I mean, that made sense, but, you know, even... what is he supposed to do, right? I mean, this is the whole point. You know, you can't take with the knight, even though you would want to. If the bishop's back on d2, you certainly can take with the knight, but it's a tough position. You know, you almost need to find one of these moves where you're wiggling out of this this thing that black's given you. I wonder, why can't I just go like bishop e6 though? Is that not? I'm not looking too hard. Hi. Okay, hold on. You're gonna go right there. Okay. Yeah. So I didn't hate giving up this bishop. So maybe I'm just a filthy human and I can't see why that's a problem. But I don't know. Okay. I'm not gonna look too deep into that. Okay. So here the knight move doesn't make any sense. Bishop e6. Yeah. Now if the knight moves, I mean, what is he? Like knight c4, I figured he kind of had to play, but I feel like b5 is going to come soon enough. It's going to come at some point, and he's going to be uncomfortable about it. So takes there was a bit surprising. We took with the e-pawn, and yeah, he's got this ridiculous position to try to solve, and this was what I mentioned. Bishop takes c6, maybe you can play knight a4, but again, it's uncomfortable. Queen d5 is probably just plays itself, because you're gonna go for this, you're gonna push h5. I mean, what a tough position to have to play, but I mean, not getting rid of the bishop, it's probably tougher. So now he has to figure out, okay, I mean, where does his knights go? Where do his knights go? h5. I didn't even consider h5 there. It makes sense. Yeah, I didn't even consider it. Good to see that move is pretty good too. I had 2 inaccuracies. What were those in the opening? We'll look at the end here. So takes. This doesn't make any sense. You know, why give up the? He had to have just missed it. It had to have just been just a silly mistake, because that doesn't. There's no reason to play that. F4 is interesting. This looks like the hell is it called? A Grunfeld pawn structure. Where you play f4 and these two pawns are just sitting here. Unless I'm remembering the Grunfeld wrong. I've only played it like twice. Okay, so here... Yeah. What did I play? Knight e5. It didn't like knight e5. I liked knight e5. Queen f4. Oh, let's look at that line. So queen takes. Yeah, I think I have something here. Oh, I guess unless the knight takes. But then I saw, yeah, if the knight takes, I saw knight c4, and then I'm winning a pawn. So I saw that. And if the bishop takes, I go here anyway. And it can go. They can go rook e1. Oh, the damn pawn can't move. That would make everything that I said very difficult. So that's unfortunate. Okay, if the pawn can't move, the pawn can't move. And the bishop's covering us, so yeah, like I said, I was, yeah, that's very confusing. Um, okay, so the funny line didn't work. He plays queen f4 anyway, which is just great. So knight g4, yeah, mobilize the pieces. I miss bishop takes b7, but queen e2 after that. Yeah, that takes balls. Yeah, that's a, wow. That's strange, because even if I would have seen that, I would have declined it. After knight f3, I want to play this, but I can't because my queen's not on d3 anymore guarding it. But you can take on e3. Queen a4 check. d7, rook f2. Queen. Okay. That looks good to me, but I didn't see all that. And that move doesn't make any sense. Yeah, queen d4, bishop d6, top two moves. I don't think that there's a difference between the two. So bishop d6, that move didn't make any sense. So what's he supposed to do? After queen f3, was I at least right here? Here, king h1. Yeah, queen takes here. Any knight move, I take this, or I take the rook. It's just cooked. So, yeah, very happy about that. There's no pawn push. I mean, he can do it just to win this, I guess. But I will get myself castled. If queen moves here to keep this guarded, then we'll still do queen a4 check here. h6 I didn't think of. That's probably better than just going in for knight f2, which is something that I might have played. h6 is really good. Oh, and bishop e... Oh, yeah. I really hope I would have seen this had this happened. Yeah. Queen h5. How do you... Yeah, she's pretty cooked. Okay, so hopefully I would have seen that had that happen, and not just jumped right in for the smothered mate that no one falls for. Yeah, that's an interesting line. It's kind of funny. Okay, so what were the inaccuracies here? Likely in the opening. Knight c7 was an inaccuracy. And knight e6 was the other one. It wanted me to play bishop e6 on both of them. But yeah, if you're reviewing your games and the computer makes those kinds of suggestions, I mean, as long as you have a clear plan in mind for the opening, I wouldn't pay too much attention to it. I say that as I, make inaccuracies in the opening, but I mean, it's sort of the same thing as if you're up a piece in a middle game, trade right down to an end game. The computer's going to call it mistakes and blunders because you're trading down instead of going for a mate, but it's just simpler. It's a more comfortable position. So same thing in the opening. Just go for the comfortable position. You're not gonna lose in the opening because you played knight e6 instead of bishop e6. That's just ridiculous. All right, cool. Very happy about that. I will post there's definitely going to be blitz tiebreaks. I don't know exactly how it's going to work because I don't know if there's going to be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 4-point score. I have no idea. So, but I will post the tiebreaks as well. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.